On everybody. The Chiefs selected their fourth round pick about 20 minutes ago. I was able to get my daughter down for her nap, and now we are live to talk about what the Chiefs have done so far in the 2022 NFL draft and Joshua Williams, their latest selection. This is the RGR Football Channel. My name is Daniel Harms, film analyst here, still by myself the rest of the day. We may have our fearless moderator in here tonight, Aaron Morrow, or today, I should say. Not tonight, because this shouldn't stretch into the evening. Let's hope anyway. But this is what we're going to talk about. We have now the final pick of, or not the final pick. The Chiefs still have a few more on the list today, but the first pick of their day 3, round 4 picks. I'm so excited about the work that they've done in this draft. But to start off the show, if you guys are new, hit that like, hit the bell, hit the sub notification. Please, helps us out, helps you guys out. It's a great way to get involved in the channel and spread the RGR channel to multiple Chiefs fans everywhere. So that's the idea. Let's go ahead and get this out on Twitter, shall we? Let's tell everybody that we are live. We got one more pick, huh? Jeez. They went fast. Let me pull it up. Perfect timing then, so we can talk about that pick and the rest of them. Let me just pull all of this nonsense up really quick. I'm very unprepared, as you can tell, for this. I thought they got 150. Did they move up? Yeah, I thought they got 150 something. Huh. I guess okay, so this must be the pick. All right, never mind. I thought they had a bit of a okay, so they moved up. All right. Sorry, I'm just kind of play catch up here a little bit. Okay. So the Chiefs just jumped from 158 to 145. So before we get into Josh Williams, which we will, we're going to see who they pick here at 145. And then we're going to really get an idea of how they went through about the draft and really what their idea is. I wonder who they're going to go with here. I can pull up Ryan's board. It's more complete than mine, so we can kind of have that. And they probably used one of their 7th round picks to move up right there. So yeah. By the way, Isaiah, I know I've seen something about Isaiah Likely. He was already picked by the Ravens. So the Ravens have taken 2 tight ends in the 4th round here. So okay. So this is Ryan's board really quick. Like I said, it's much more complete than my own. And let's go to corner really quick just to before the Chiefs take on 145 and see where he had Joshua Williams. Just behind Zion McCollum and Darian Beavers. Beavers is a linebacker, so I'm not sure what he's doing there. It must have been a typo. Or I'm looking at no, never mind. At Tariq Woolen, my bad. These 3 guys that were all on the clock for Kansas City, and they went Joshua Williams. So makes sense. Yeah, it's not surprising. It doesn't take much to move up these rounds here to get somebody, but they went from 158 to 145 with the 7th. Not a big deal. A lot of these people think you can get your guys where you want to get them. So yeah, nice to move up for a 7th round pick here and get somebody that they have an eye on. I wonder if it's a defensive end. I don't think Enigbare has been picked unless I missed it. But even so, they might have an off or a defensive tackle in mind. Oh, that's why I did that. Okay. Kinnard, probably. Yeah, I don't mind Kinnard. I did have a third on him, I think. And Ryan had a third on him as well, but we had some medical stuff here, so they move up to get Darian Kinnard. And I did. I had him rated as an interior player. So they moved to get Darian Kinnard. Um, that's an interesting pick. And now they don't pick again until the seventh round unless they decide to move up. So so the Chiefs went up and get a Darian Kinnard, somebody who has it's good value. Like I said, we think I thought he was a third round pick, so they moved up in the fourth round to get somebody who really should have been off the board. Um, Good value. I wonder if what he's going to end up being in the NFL, whether he's going to be a tackle, whether he's going to be a guard. That's something that Kansas City will figure out. But his footwork is not great. Much bigger dude, much like Lucas Niang, but not as athletic, in my opinion. Um, Also, inconsistent hand usage. Powerful guy. So more than likely, we're talking about a swing tackle type of option in Kinnard that can maybe play on the outside, but also has the strength to play at guard as a backup. So you figure Andrew Wiley, Nick Allegretti are your two backups. Maybe they don't play Andrew Wiley very often or very long, but they also like the versatility of having those swing tackles. And as much as they like Andrew Wiley, I think this could be a replacement for that kind of guy. So yeah, I'm thinking hopefully, maybe his medical issues or whatever it was with his descent having to do with weight or whatnot helps get him his name out there, gets that solved a little bit. So hoping that the little bit of weight loss that he had going into the combine helps his footwork a little bit and his athletic ability. So I would definitely think that this is an offensive tackle slash um, guard. So we have a swing tackle in Kansas City in Darian Kinnard, much higher on the Chiefs list. Like I said, I thought he was a third round pick. So makes a lot of sense to go and get him if you think that there are multiple or somebody is falling that you really like. And I think that's one of those guys. So the Chiefs end their fourth round with two selections, Joshua Williams and Darian Kinnard. Let's talk about Joshua Williams, okay? This was, I know that everyone wanted Zion McCollum, the super athlete, right? They wanted the super athlete. But Joshua Williams is more experienced. He's a bit older. He's going to be 23 at the start of the season, I think. He's 22 and a half right now. So he's not just that, he's big. He's 6'2, 200 pounds, and he's long. He's long, like almost 33-inch arms. So we're talking about offensive tackle, defensive end type of arms. They really wanted that guy. And not only is he's going to be like a Charvarius Ward replacement. He doesn't have the 4.4 speed. He's more of a 4.5 guy, but he can play on the outside, a developmental outside player with long distance. He can play in phase with receivers pretty well. Down the field, he's going to have some trouble with quicker movers just because being a 6'2 cornerback in the NFL is not ideal for always making those hip switch moves and things like that. So he will have some issues carrying guys across or being like a true number one corner. That's why he's not going to be one. He's going to be like what Charvarius Ward was. Be on the outside, be the ball skills guy, pass breakup, use your long arms and your ball skill identifying. He sees the ball well too. So these are all things that I think ideally they want to have as a number two guy next year and things like that. So maybe they're thinking L'Jarius Sneed is your slot slash safety. Maybe they're thinking of moving Trent McDuffie around and being a slot slash outside. They're just trying to really figure that out. So I do think that Joshua Williams can be a guy on the outside. Like he's not going to play in the slot. He's going to be an outside receiver or an outside corner, excuse me. With that length, you can really help against those bigger receivers. So if you think McDuffie's going to be on the outside and be one of your outside corners, you put Joshua Williams, if he's advancing enough, on the bigger guy. Let McDuffie play the smaller guy. Maybe you put L'Jarius Sneed back in the slot on those three receiver sets and you make it work like much like they have this past year. So they are really going with the versatility in their secondary, taking two corners and a safety, trying to fix this defensive problem that they have had. I know that you guys are probably going to ask some questions, but I want to get my thoughts on this out right now. Look at what the Chiefs did last year with their offensive line. Look at it, okay? They went out, they identified a problem, they fixed it. They made it better. They made it one of the top 5 in the NFL. Okay? Top 5. This offseason didn't go very well for the Chiefs in free agency, but they have hammered home these value picks. I'm still on the fence about an upside with George Karlaftis, but he's going to be a starter for you. He's going to play productive snaps, and he's going to play a lot of snaps this season. They drafted Trent McDuffie, be a starter this year. They drafted Brian Cook. He's going to be a third safety this year. They are adapting, and they're doing this on a really fast-paced defense. They're trying to make this defense immediately better. Leo Chanel is going to be an impact player from day one, a guy you can be like a Micah Parsons in this defense, be kind of like a Sam, an overhang defensive end on those running down situations. He can kind of be a pass rusher. He can come in and be kind of like a defensive end, an off the ball linebacker at times. He's not going to be the best mover in space, but he can get after the pass rusher. This is a defense that I think that is going to be fast. It's going to be aggressive, and they are doing everything they can to make it work, make it better. Last year it was bad. It was real bad. They see it. They've gotten younger. They've gotten more hungry at defense, and I think that this is the perfect situation. Last year, like I said, they went out and they fixed the offensive line. They are making definitive statements about the way that the defense played last year. They went out and got guys that they think can be stars. And that's what this defense going to be. It's going to be fast, and they're going to hit you. Also, one thing about Joshua Williams, those long arms, he knows how to use them. He can wrap up. He's not the strongest guy in the world, but he wants to lay the lumber. So getting him in an NFL offense or an NFL weight room, train up that strength a little bit. We're talking about another guy that can really impact in the run game against the run, like Charvarius Ward did as a tackler. So I really think guys like Trent McDuffie, like Leo Chanel, like Joshua Williams are going to be excellent tacklers in that secondary, and especially with Brian Cook too. And then I really like what they've done on defense. I know that there's going to be some questions about it, but I really do think that he's going to be that. I don't believe I just saw something about Joshua Williams being a return guy. No, I don't think he has return ability in my opinion. I know he's not the fastest guy in the world. He's not the twitchiest guy in the world. He may have done some returning at his um, college, but McDuffie's better suited for being a punt returner right off the bat. And they might be looking later in the draft for a specialist type of returner. So yeah, Joshua Williams, I think, is a really good pick. Dan Brugler actually had him ranked as his 12th best corner in this draft as a third-round pick. Another Chiefs value transaction there. So I like it a lot. Obviously, we just talked a little bit about Darian Kinnard being more of a swing tackle in this offense and being somebody depth. They need a tackle depth, and he might be that guy for them as a swing tackle option. So what the Chiefs have done in this entire draft has done a very good job of identifying positions that they desperately needed. I think that they do need another defensive end, but they might see Leo Chanel as a guy who can be a stand-up rusher. He's probably going to be like with George Karlaftis in that sense that Karlaftis might come kick inside on some pass rushing downs and get Chanel out there for pass rushing situations. They're going to find ways to make it work, and that's one way you can get both of them on the field on day one. Have Karlaftis be a rundown player, but kick inside next to Chris Jones and really get after the passer because he's a much faster, quick guy than some guards. So you can have him try to really use those gaps well and get Leo Chanel on the field as a pass rusher on the edge. He has speed. He disengages well. He sheds, blocks very well. I'm interested. I'm very interested what they're going to do with Chanel. So very interesting. I don't know if he can like legit play edge, but they might be thinking about making him a type of Sam overhang linebacker that can rush off the edge on third down situations so they can kick George Karlaftis inside. Very interested how they do that. I'll talk a little bit more about Darian Kinnard for you guys. He played tackle at Kentucky. He was really up and down, in my opinion. He's got strong, long arms. Let me pull up his measurements really quick here. Thank you all for being here too, by the way. 230 of y'all in here. Love it. Love it. We'll go back to the tackles. Guard. So I got lots of stuff to go through here at tackle. Okay, so he's not there. KC 100% isn't playing more 3-4. Yeah, no, they'll play 4-3. Definitely. Sorry, I'm losing my note. I have my notes on them must be lost. Okay. Found him. Here we go. All right, so Khalil Shakir goes to the Bills. Interesting. I like that fit for him. But Darian Kinnard, 6'5", 320, 322, another senior, 20. This guy's gonna be 23 next year. Where's his measurements really quick? 35 and a quarter inch arms. So he has the length that uh Kansas City wants. So I'm interested to see what he does. Again, I know that he's lost a bit of weight from his time playing. So he was at 322 at the combine, 328 at his pro day, hoping that's a bit leaner. But his hands, 11 and a quarter inch hands, like 35 and a quarter inch arms. That dude is long. They might really see him as a backup tackle with his size. They might be trying to see what he can do there. So, what? Oh, okay. Sorry. So yeah, he's got that frame that carries his weight well. Even if he was a bit overweight last year, I think you didn't really notice it. He does a very good job setting his feet, getting them in the right spots. The power, the dude is just when he hits you with his hands, you feel it. It like kicks you back a little bit. He's got some really strong arms. I think he can engage as well in the run game. Can really be a people mover. The problem is that he has some balance issues and he's really top heavy in his pass protection. So we're talking about a guy who maybe if he has slimmed down a little bit and does slim down in the NFL, he can get those weight distribution issues under control and become more of a tackle. But his footwork is really sloppy because of it as well. So I'm hoping that has improved. Also with Kansas City, Andy Heck does a great job with the offensive line. You guys saw Trey Smith's balance issues and the work that they've done with everybody, getting them all great. Like they've done a great job there. So I think this is a really perfect scenario for Darian Kinnard to come in and be a backup right tackle. He's not going to be a guy right off the bat that starts. I do think that does give you a little bit of hope for Lucas Niang return and starter eventually because he's more athletic than Kinnard is. But this is for me a 2023 move that possibly could pan out for them to be a tackle, a right tackle next year if they don't feel it works out with Lucas Niang. Thank you for the super chat, PKT. I know everyone says we need a new defensive end, but do we know what we have in Kando and Malik? As for cornerback, Baker is still here. I think we are cornerback rich. They're definitely not cornerback rich. There's no evidence to suggest that Baker can play in the NFL. He's gotten some snaps here and there, and he hasn't looked very good. They still have out on the outside. They had L'Jarius Sneed. Fenton can't really play on the outside. He doesn't have the strength, the physicality, not the physicality. He has physicality. He doesn't have the lateral agility or the size to play on the outside, and he got abused by bigger corners all year. So, and I know that he just doesn't have. He's more of a safety slash slot guy that can bully some of the smaller guys, but they need defensive end bodies. We don't really know what Kano and Malik are, so they might have more confidence in them to play early than we do because they know all about that stuff and we don't. So it's really trying to figure out who they're going to have. Mike Dan is probably going to be a backup rotational guy. Kano as well. Malik, all those guys. So they're just when you don't have proven players, you still kind of need some bodies. But thank you for the super chat. I really like the Joshua Williams pick. Funny enough, if you guys watched the videos that I did for the pre-draft picks on day 3, I highlighted Joshua Williams as a corner they could go after. And look, lo and behold, like last year with Cornell Powell and Joshua Kando, the Chiefs once again selected a player that I had highlighted on day 3. I'm extremely happy about it. Makes me feel very happy. And we do have Aaron in the house. Give him a nice shout out. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate you joining me, being here with us. Very happy. Very, very happy. I know that there's a couple people in here upset about not getting Kobe Bryant, but I think that I think it's going to work out. They got his teammate Brian Cook, and that dude's a thumper. That dude is a thumper. Thank you for the super chat, William. The Chiefs decided they're going to be elite against the run. Frank and George can defend the run well, and these linebackers plus the DBs can all come down and hit. They want to hit people. They have decided that they want to hit people, and I'm totally okay with that. I think they watched tape last year, and this team did not look very capable defensively to tackle. They just didn't know what they were doing a lot of the time, and it showed up on tape a lot. Not being able to tackle, not being able to wrap up properly, and it's not good. So they got guys that know how to use their arms and can actually like tackle and want to hit people, wrap up all the time. Yeah, I'm totally okay with that. Thank you, William. Woof. Thank you, Jason. I'm good with this draft, except in one position. Defensive end is going to be even bigger issue than last year. It's Steve Spagnuolo. Steve Spagnuolo doesn't care about speed, doesn't care about athleticism in his defensive ends. He wants bigger guys that are strong. And apparently they don't care about length as much as I thought they did. I know I'm probably late, but how do you feel about Sky? Thanks, Killer City. Yeah, no, I like Sky more. He's going to be an excellent opener up. They're going to use a really good job of MVS and McCall Hardman to open up the middle of the field. And now they have a receiver, two receivers actually, in Juju Smith-Schuster and Sky Moore on top of Travis Kelce. They can really take advantage of the open fields that you're going to see with those two high safeties. So makes a lot of sense, in my opinion, to get a guy in Sky Moore that can take advantage of that and can create a lot of separation underneath and just get open. How many picks do we have left? It looks like we have 3 7th round picks left from what I know. And that's it. Mike F, they would really have to trade up to just answer that. My bad. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mark. Do you think we can get Woolen? They'd have to probably trade up, but I don't think they're going to take another corner. They've already got 2 corners and a safety, so I'm probably less into them doing that. Yeah, what about Zion McCollum? Thank you for the super chat, DJ. But I don't think they're going to take 3 corners. I don't think that's going to happen. I could be wrong, but if they take 3 corners, that tells you how they feel about everybody behind L'Jarius Sneed. Thank you, Avery. Dan, what's your favorite pick thus far, and which pick do you feel is the best value? So I think the best value is Trent McDuffie. He was, in my opinion, a top 12 player in this draft in terms of what we thought we were going to happen. I thought he was going to be gone at 12. That's didn't end up happening that way. The Chiefs were able to trade up and go get him, and that's huge for them. I think it's the best value that the Chiefs have. And the best pick is Sky Moore, because not only did they get him in the second round, a guy who was taken in a lot of first round mock drafts, he was traded back for. Receivers were taken over him, and the Chiefs got the better guy who's ready to contribute right now. So I think Sky Moore is probably my favorite pick, and the fact that they were able to trade back on top of it requires this 5th round pick that they used to go get a swing tackle and also take him is really just icing on the cake. Thank you, Joseph. Do you believe the Chiefs draft a defensive tackle? At this point, no. Looks like they might be looking to UDFAs or just kind of throw darts in the 7th round, which I think is interesting. I think it's very interesting. You don't have a pass rusher that is proven right now. They let Jerron Reed go. They didn't replace that depth. I mean, they had a depth guy that they brought in free agency, but they didn't bring anybody in that is going to have some pass rush juice. So I'm interested to see what they end up doing. Like I said, if they kick George Karlaftis inside on pass rushing situations to get some more pass rush production out of him, if they use him like that and bring Leo Chanel in to rush the edge, pretty happy about that. info. The one thing you need to know is that Ryan had a fourth round grade on Joshua Williams. I had a late fourth round, and the man Dane Brugler had a third round grade, and he was his 12th overall corner. Those are some pretty good numbers for um, those pretty good numbers for a guy that they got in the fourth round. Pretty happy about that. Did this guy pass Powell and Gordon on the depth chart? Well, yes, he's a second round pick. Powell was a fifth round pick. Gordon is pretty much non existent, and he gets open. Powell, fifth round guy. I like him a lot, but he's probably more of a possession receiver in the NFL. And I don't know how much better he's gotten, how much the playbook he knows. And the simple fact is that Sky can get open on command, even right now in the NFL. I think he can do that. I have some questions about that with Powell, and I know that Gordon can't do it. He also can't catch the ball. So, yeah, I think that he does pass them immediately. And Gordon and Powell, maybe Powell's looking for the sixth spot if he can get on special teams. Maybe. What's going on, Frank? If you can make one last pick, who would it be? What position we need the most? I still think it's going to be like a defensive tackle or a defensive end. They might take a run at a running back in the seventh round, like I've suggested over the course of the last few months. Who would I pick if they're going to go running back? I would still take Jerome Ford. He's on the board. I really love that. And everyone's favorite cornerback, Tariq Woolen, just goes to the Seattle Seahawks, which makes a lot of sense. But yeah, there's a couple running backs that I think could help Kansas City right now. Tyler Goodson, uh, Tyler Beatty out of Missouri, and Goodson out of Iowa. I do think Jerome Ford being my running back 3 is there, but you never know. You never know. What up, info? I'm late. Thoughts on Kinnard and Williams? So, yeah, it's going to be a short one today. I'm probably going to do a little bit, maybe 10 more minutes of questions, and then come back on when the Chiefs hit their other picks because they have 3 more left in the 7th. Maybe they use them to trade up or not. I'll answer a few more questions here, and then I'll skip out for the day or until they pick again. But Kinnard, I think, could very easily be a swing tackle right now in the NFL in terms of backup level. He's not going to be a starter right away, and somebody that they might see as insurance for Lucas Niang because you didn't invest at tackle early. You didn't invest any real significant draft capital. You did move up to get him though, so you liked his fall. You liked where he was. So I do think he has some value in the sense that maybe 2023, if Lucas Niang doesn't work out, say he gets injured again or he comes back and he's not the athlete he was, you might be able to plug in Kinnard there and play him. Williams is a long, almost 33-inch arm corner, 6'2", 200 pounds. Thumper who uses his arms well in tackling, stays in phase with receivers down the field well. He doesn't have burner speed. He runs a 4.5, but he does play very well. He's got looser hips than you would expect for a 6'2" corner. And while he does struggle a little bit with some shiftier guys, you could really see that the dynamics with this working out on the outside. If they want to have L'Jarius Sneed in the slot, you can put Williams if he works out on bigger receiver, and then you can put Trent McDuffie on the smaller guy on the outside of the Z and have him work that way. So this really, I think, is a very good duo with Trent McDuffie and Joshua Williams if it ends up being their starters, and you kick Sneed to that slot type of level where you have him on the outside to begin and then move him into the slot when it gets to those 3 receiver sets. I think it might work out very, very well. What's up going on, everybody? Thank you, Holly, for being in here. What's up, Doug? Modfather, I'm glad you're back. A lot of spam while you were gone. Dan handled it well. I did what I could. When I saw it, I tried to grab it and get it out of here. I tried so hard. I really did. Thank you for the super chat, Caddy. We drafted secondary for coverage sacks. You're probably not wrong about that. They got guys who can't get to the quarterback extremely quickly, and they want to improve that defense to help those pressures get turned into sacks. It wouldn't surprise me. Would not surprise me. Really enjoyed this draft. Thanks. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate it. really doing everything I can here. It's not easy to do this by myself. I have a lot of respect for people that do this on a yearly basis by themselves. Thank you, Napoleon. Won't Chiefs need to look for seventh round picks that can play special teams? Yes, we lost a bunch of special teams players this year. Yeah, that's what they're going to do. They have three of them, and it looks like they're going to just kind of maybe wait it out, find somebody in the six that they really like that can also play special teams. But they're going to use those picks to just kind of like fill up their special teams roster. Definitely. What up, Terry? Thank you for the question, William. Did you hear Veach's comments on the depth of the running back in the later rounds? He thinks multiple UDFAs could be 1,000-yard rushers. Devontae Price, anyone? I'm not a huge Price guy, but yeah, there's going to be, if they like somebody enough in the seventh, I think they're going to take somebody there. Or, like I said, UDFAs, they're going to find someone to take. And I really do think that's going to happen. What's going on, time? Is a double dip on wide receiver a good option with these last picks? Oh, not really. I don't. The wide receiver board, unless they want to trade up to get somebody, then maybe. But I think that they're pretty happy with Moore and the way that their wide receiver room is shaking out. I'm pretty comfortable. I'll just answer a few more questions here, and then we'll wait for the Chiefs to pick and come back on. I think we'll wait for them to wrap up the draft, and I'll do a little recap. How about that? Let's wait till the Chiefs pick all their players, and then I will do a full recap. That way we don't have to just come pop back on, pop back off, pop back on, pop back off. So we'll do that. Is would the Chiefs currently have three more picks left, and as soon as they get done, they wrap up the draft. I'll come on. We'll have a short little 15 25-minute video to wrap everything together, talk about it, how give them immediate draft grades, and we'll just kind of do it that way. Hey Dan, are you and Ryan going to be on a show together for tomorrow? Probably not tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday, so Monday I think we'll do the Q&A as we normally would. Ryan's going to be traveling, I would imagine, today and possibly tomorrow, so I want to give him some time off to really decompress after all the stuff that he's done this week. Yeah, Poison. We're gonna do that at the end. Do that at the end. We'll do the questions and stuff like that. I've seen this a couple different times already, Armando. How about Justin Ross in the sixth or seventh? I think that's where I would take him. I think I had a fifth round grade on him based on his earlier production, but I don't think he's healthy. I don't think he might ever be healthy, and it's a flyer. You're taking hoping he can get back to health after spinal fusion surgery. So definitely something to monitor where he ends up going. All right, thank you, Jeremy. Dan, how many starters have we drafted? I'd say 4 with some possibilities. I think right now you have 5 guys. I think that okay, so you have 4 like legitimate starters in terms of guys that are going to play next year right now. Sky Moore is a guy who could, but he's not going to be a starter because he's still learning Andy Reid's scheme. He's going to have to learn all that stuff. So that's possible there. I think that's where I'm at with that. 4 is about right. Thank you so much, Holly, for the super chat. Know anything about Darian Kinnard, the offensive tackle we just drafted? Is he a right tackle? Yeah, I think he's going to be more of a swing tackle. He can play in at guard too. Versatility with some athletic ability for a bigger guy. He's not like super athletic, but it might also have been some of the weight issues he had at Kentucky. Some of his footwork is very inconsistent, and also balance issues, which I think would contribute to his weight issues, just kind of being very, very top heavy. So I think he is more insurance for 2023. If Lucas Niang doesn't work out, they might be able to find a way to get Kinnard at right tackle, because as much as Andrew Wadley played well there last year, that they would need more options than him. So yeah, thank you for the super chat. I do agree with that. Thank you, Poison. Appreciate your super chat. All right, so yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here, you guys. Thank you so much for being here on short notice for the little get together and go over the 2 picks. I timed it pretty well with them trading up to take Kinnard there. So yeah, we're gonna have a nice little wrap up show at the end when the Chiefs make their last selections. I'll give my own draft grades, my own individual player grades based on value and profile. I'll get all that stuff ranked, and we will have a nice little wrap up for the draft show. It's been a great weekend so far. You guys have done such a great job being in here with me, contributing to the conversation, just making it easy for me to be as relaxed as possible. So I thank you and I commend you all for your participation in this weekend as much as my own. So I'll see you guys at the wrap up show after the draft is concluded, and I look forward to that happening. Thank you guys so much.